trillions could flow through cryptos like Stellar XLM, and Zion coins could benefit. How am I arriving at that? How am I coming to this conclusion? Before all of that, please please subscribe. It helps us with the YouTube algorithm, and I can keep delivering more and more content like this to you more frequently. And please watch until the end for the juicy bits. With that aside, we need to talk, you and I, we need to talk about the fundamental facts of the matter. It's clear. Big institutes are interested in blockchain technology, and not just interested to the point that, oh yeah, sometime in the future it could solve a problem, or it could solve a problem for us now, but we know that it's a bit glitchy. No. Big institutes understanding the real value of what blockchain can deliver, the real value of smart contracts, the real value of NFTs. You know, we could talk about DeFi and, you know, finance in a decentralized way in comparison to traditional finance, trade finance, but, you know, institutions, big money institutions aren't really interested in DeFi. They're interested in the blockchains for certain specific use cases, okay? Like NFTs, like smart contracts. And these really do deliver. Blockchains like Stellar XLM really does deliver this in the best way possible. Cheap, efficient, and fast. You put all of these things together, and that in itself, in its entirety, is what these major institutes are looking for. Where am I getting all of this from? Well, you've really got to watch a small clip of Danielle Dixon, the CEO of Stellar, and Jenny Johnson, the CEO of Franklin Templeton. And really, when you listen to Jenny talk and Danielle, you could see they understand the core principles, the core values of what the Stellar XLM blockchain can deliver. And they give, Jenny in specific gives perfect examples of how NFTs can be used in such a way that it enables so many possibilities for good business, for royalties, for art, for tickets, to concerts, for contracts, for hotel stays, for timeshares. You know, there are an almost infinite possibility of use cases for these blockchains. You know, I've thought of a few. I've got a few that I want to deliver, obviously incorporating AI, but really the way these institutes want to tap into it is key for the blockchain's effective use case, for securing a network alone in one aspect, and also for making our lives easier, for making our lives better in this modern day society. We can expect more from our technology. We can make our lives simpler. We can expect, as loyal, devoted customers, to get more. And blockchain is going to help to deliver that. In any case, Nathan, over to the Stellar XLM video with Danielle Dixon and Jenny Johnson, CEO of Franklin Templeton.
But I can tell you what we're excited about. One, once we built the system, I mean, we were pretty astonished by how cost effective it really was. You know, we ran 4 transfer agency systems that we had ourselves over the years that we had acquired. And so we understood all of the different, one was on a mainframe and others were on an AS400 and various things, right? to see how efficient this system is once it's built on the chain where you have the permanent record, got us really excited to say, okay, we can do more. So then we think about, well, what other things can we do? What gets me fired up is not only do I think that it's going to be more efficient, but it's going to open up new types of investment capabilities. And I love to use the example of Rihanna's NFT, where she issued 300 of them. I'm sure she was just dabbling in it.
Yep.
At, $210 each, you get 0.0033% of one of her songs in a royalty. The only way that you could do that is because you have blockchain, which does, one, it allows a payment mechanism, two, a smart contract, and three, that you can prove you own it with the general ledger. And so, imagine 0.0033 is infinitesimal as far as what a payment is. But here somebody could play her song on Spotify. Smart contract says, okay, you have the right to this, and comes in and pays you in your token. That's pretty revolutionary. And so now you think about all the different ways in which you can unlock, and making these things investable and accessible to the average person. So you can imagine Rihanna fans are the ones probably buying this initially.
Yeah, of course.
But imagine if an athlete, he signs a big contract and he wants to sell 10% of, his future earnings. Think of the fans that would love to buy into that. And so, there'll be the financial portion of it, and then what we're calling the kind of the cultural asset portion. So what I get excited about is neither of those examples are correlated at all to traditional equity and fixed income. And somebody building an institutional investment portfolio really looks for uncorrelated assets. 2022 was an unusual and difficult year for institutional investors because both the equity market and the fixed income market dropped. That doesn't happen often.
Yeah.
So it was a double whammy. So imagine if you had been able to access some of these other types of real assets and have them be uncorrelated. So that's what gets me really excited. I think we're going to be able to build better, more personalized portfolios for our clients.
That's so great. I love that you talked about the interoperability. Cross-chain interoperability to me is the only way that we can actually make sure that we don't end up with the same financial infrastructure we have today, which is antiquated and old. Yeah. So cross-chain piece is so, so important. We focus so much on this notion of figuring out how those bridges can be safe and how you can do.
Yes.
Right now, the best cross-chain, the best way to do interoperability is through a centralized entity like yourself, so that you can do that issuance on different chains. But eventually, I think it'll come. Yep. And I think that actually opens the world up too. And it's more in line with the way that we wanted the internet to be. The underlying infrastructure is decentralized and open and standards-based, but everything on top sort of grew very isolated and centralized. That's not what we wanted, and we don't want that in financial services. So that makes me super happy. And then from the standpoint of what the assets, I feel like that's super limitless. The things that can come together and be pulled. And I think it's I am not the creative type. I'm really good at organizing things. I'm really good at putting things together. I'm really good at managing and bringing companies and individuals together. The creative part though, I marvel at that. So when I watch people come up with these ideas, that is what drives it for me.
No, and I've heard of some amazing ones, but they're and this is an old one that's been around for a while and kind of poorly executed, but I think it kind of gives you an idea of what's to come. But there's a St. Regis in Aspen where they've tokenized it. So, in theory, your token gets paid just like a dividend on the stock you own, part of that company. But when you check in, they'll say, oh, you're an owner, you get a room upgrade. So you can imagine tying those types of things. In the Rihanna case, she could also say, not only am I going to give you the rights to royalties on the song, but actually I'm going to give you 2 concerts that you can, in the next 5 years, that you can get front row seats. And let's say, you use one and then you're no longer a Rihanna, fan, you sell it to me. I will have that right carried in that token. We don't have to go check with any third party. It's embedded in that smart contract. So I think we're just at the early stages. I always say it's a little bit like when Apple came out with the iPhone and you were like, oh, it's pretty cool. I got, a camera.
That's great. Thanks for that, Nathan. And then there in that video, you can see, it'll be in a link, by the way. Make sure to watch it. You can see just how passionate both Danelle and Jenny are about this blockchain, Stellar XLM, and what can be delivered. they're almost foaming at the mouth because they really do understand the technology and what can be done, and they really understand the concept that there are almost an infinite possibilities in how assets can be tokenized, and almost anything could be tokenized. And really, this is the future that we have, coupled with AI. It's truly going to make us, the way we live our lives today, much simpler. Both you and I are going to witness the dawn of a new industrial revolution, and this is where we are, at the precipice, at the beginning, at the very start of this. So people, believe me when I say we are early. You and I are early. Financial institutions, their CEOs are realizing the true value of blockchain and are beginning to apply it. I'm Nathan, aka Nathan of Zion. Smash the Zion coin up there, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. And don't forget to watch the next video. It's going to be on Stellar. Have a great day now. Take care.